Thank you very much. I think I will start with a friend from India, right? The Gambia is unique in the sense that we are a small country and we don't have a lot of places that we call hard to reach in that country. And we had also the opportunity through the support of our partners. We have almost extended our medium voltage line in all the regions, in almost all the districts and constituencies in that country. Our size is an advantage for us. That's why in some of our discussions I said the Gambia could be used as a model for the compact program. We could be the first country to achieve universal access well before 2030. And that can be a big plus for the World Bank and African Development Bank to use the Gambia as a model. Because as we speak, we have extended the power line to almost all the regions in the country, across the country, providing access to over 1,100 communities. And these communities are going to be, the projects are going to be commissioned by the end of December, January 2026. That means we'll have few more communities that need to have access. But even with those communities, we have the power line crisscrossing in most of the areas. So we are encouraging green mini grids, but at the same time, our focus more is on grid connected solar plants that will provide access to more people because the network is already available. But nonetheless, we have the regulations that encourages green mini grids in areas where we think access will be a challenge. And I can give an example where we have already had a developer that has installed a green mini grid in a particular community, even though they have been operating, but sometimes our rural communities are different from some other parts of Africa. The energy consumption in those communities is almost equivalent to what the urban population are also consuming. So when we bring mini grids to them, we think that they'll be consuming less, and it's the reverse that happens. Because these are communities where we have most of their people that are also working outside the Gambia. And the remittances that are coming to support those communities, and some of these mini grids are not adequate enough to meet their energy needs. So as a country, our focus is not only providing access, we want to make sure they have access and availability is also there. That power is not just provided just to charge mobile phones and put on your fans. We want these people to be involved in petty businesses as a result of the availability of energy in their communities. And as such, these communities have now transformed, and therefore mini grids are being encouraged. But at the same time, it can be the mini grids can be incorporated into the grid at a later part. So we encourage them, but not necessarily that the grid will not also come to those communities. It will come when it comes. The mini grid is integrated, and when the grid is there, when the solar plant is not available, the grid will provide the electricity for the communities because we want real access. That said, we have the mini grid regulation that came into effect in 2023, and that supports investments into the mini grids, and we have few companies that are currently doing this in the Gambia, and this is still being encouraged. We are working with our partners also, like we have an island community that has been without power since independence. Today, we have worked with the UNDP to provide access to those people through a mini grid, and this will be implemented in 2026. Funding is already secured, but nonetheless, the private sector are also encouraged to come where they can install mini grids, and later this can be integrated into the main grid, and we are encouraging them. We have the regulations, and we have the Act, which is the Renewable Energy Act, which is also in place that has provided some incentives for investors that are interested in the renewable energy sector as well. That said, just to give you assurance that you are also welcome to the Gambia, We can work together, we can start small and also scale up. These are opportunities that are there. As we speak, we have a regional project that we are implementing in the Gambia through our collaboration with the West African Power Pool to have a solar plant, what is called a solar hub in the Gambia of a capacity of 150 megawatts. And this we are implementing in phases. The first phase will be 50 megawatts, and then we will scale up to another 100 megawatts. So the first phase has already passed the tendering stage. We are now, the evaluation has been completed, and just last week I've approved the evaluation report. And now the most responsible bidder will now be awarded that 50 megawatts, what is called project. So we are not only looking at the Gambia's energy needs alone. We also have this dimension where we want to export energy into the West African power grid. The market is already ready. The West African Power Pool has already set up a regional energy electricity market, and this has been tested. So we are ready to be able to also participate in that particular market. And as such, we are encouraging companies to come in, not only to invest to meet the energy needs of the Gambia, but at the same time, they can also participate in the greater West African energy market as well. And that said, I will come to the issue of currency. This is the biggest challenge for most utilities in Africa. The investments that are coming denominated in foreign currency. And of course, investors are expecting payments also in foreign currency, and we are receiving payments in local currency. So there's a huge challenge. Most of the time, utilities are facing a lot of losses simply because they have foreign exchange differentials that are not covered sometimes by the tariffs that are being charged for the end user. Because the end user tariff in most countries is on the high side, and governments are doing everything because tariffs are politically charged. And therefore, utilities find it difficult to recoup everything from some of the losses that they make as a result of foreign exchange differentials. So it is going to be a welcome idea if some of the investments can be done in our local currencies. So this will help us. And sometimes I said, I hear a lot. We have billions of capital for private investment, but we don't see the money. Where is the money? So I think the private investors now and some of the what is called the where we have the funds, they need to tell us where the funds are and let them come up. We have the right environment for them to invest. The risk that they are sometimes foresee is just a passive risk. It's not there. So because governments, we are doing everything possible to de-risk. And our partners are also helping us to do some of this de-risking. So therefore the passive risk that is there that sometimes the investors are looking at, I think they are just passive risks, they are not there. So come, please. Africa is ready for investment. We are ready to partner with you. Our development partners are supporting us in this endeavor. And we have the right environment. We are doing the necessary reforms, even for our utilities. In the Gambia, for example, we have the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project that has been funded through the World Bank, African Development Bank, and other partners to reform our utility. And since then, we have seen some significant progress in terms of the performance of the utility to become more financially sustainable, so that as an off-taker, when investors come into the country, they have no fears. And in fact, if you look at the way, in terms of our metering, over 90% of our customers are on prepayment metering. And therefore, there's revenue assurance when it comes to payments. So, just to encourage them, please come to Gambia, not only Gambia, but Africa is ready for investment. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.